everybody ain't gonna like it. Everybody not a fan of Kim Jones. Like it's a lot of times I see stuff going on and I see the activism community, they all in space A and everybody was invited but me and 4 of my homies that I know, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. But sometimes we focus so much on the haters, we not even acknowledging the love. And think about how painful that is to the people who love you. Like if I get online and be like, I did that one time and like one of my followers checked me on that and I was like, never again. Like I was complaining about the people who didn't love me. And she was like, but we here. The ones who love you, like we here. We supporting you. We buying the book.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Chill.
And it's your boy Will.
And this is the Pull Up Podcast.
With Chill Will.
Yes, sir. A platform that we created for our friends and fellow creators to come and introduce themselves to us and to you.
And to you.
Yes.
The beautiful people of the world. The beautiful people of YouTubulous. And you know what time it is.
What time is it?
We got a very special guest. Mama! Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kimberly Latrice Jones in the building.
Yes.
I wish we had some sound effects.
Right, we got to get that together.
You deserve it all.
I come with my own sound effects.
Yes. Like my guy from Police Academy. Yes.
Oh man, he was classic.
Kim, we are so happy to have you, man. This is one that we have been waiting on.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited.
For a very long time.
Look, the energy was in the room as soon as she walked in here. I was like, oh yeah, this is about to be crazy.
Star. She a star. She know what time it is. It's always on with her. She know what time it is. I'm learning a lot from her. I just be watching Kim. I'll be like, Kim, what you doing today? Can I hang out?
Come with me.
Go ahead. She'll be like, come with me. I'll be like, all right, come on, let's go.
I even put Will in a movie, but I killed him.
Yeah, she killed me real quick. I was dead in the first.
Oh my God.
In the first episode. Not even. Oh my God.
Couldn't even bring him back. I was like, damn.
Right. She was like, I'm gonna figure out how to bring you back.
Like,
she's like, I'm gonna figure out how to bring you back. I was like, Kim, they executed me. I was like, I was executed.
Look, I kept saying that until the screening the other night, and I saw like the brain matter and stuff flying. I was like, oh yeah, no, Will's dead.
Oh, you know,
he's gone.
I'm out of there.
He's out of my life.
Unless you got some twist of fate anime like scenario.
Zombie spinoff.
Oh, come on, Trap House with the zombie.
Will is a zombie.
Yo, nobody's ever made a hood zombie movie.
Yo, can I be like the Negan of the zombies though?
Yeah.
Can I be like, I want to be the Negan of the zombies.
Yes. You know what? One of my favorite books is this book called Dead Beautiful by another Atlanta writer, Yvonne Woon. And she did like a retake on the zombie. So instead of the zombie being like this brainless thing, she does it where when the zombie dies, they reanimate. And then when they reanimate, they start to like basically deteriorate backwards for 17 years until they get into the zombie state. But when they reanimate the first time, they reanimate as their best self. They're fast. They speak Latin. They're good looking. Whoa. They speak multiple languages. But over time, like their ear might fall off or something like that. But they figured out if they suck the souls of humans, then they will repair. So like say my ear fell off, I can suck your soul out, fix my ear, and survive for a little bit longer. It's the dopest book ever. But I was like, if I ever do a zombie movie, I'm going to take from her trope of zombieism because I love this idea of them reanimating when they're first zombies and they're like perfection and then it's the fall apart.
Jeez.
That sounds like a dope book, but you got a dope book too. Now we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it.
Homies, I
and that's something that you do. I see that so often. I'll be like, man, Kim got this big old platform. She just be shouting everybody out. She don't even care. This you my partner. I like you. I hang out with you. You cool to me. I'm gonna just shout you out. And it's like, man, a lot of people they charge you $1,000 for what you just did in 5 minutes, and I ain't even ask you for it.
Yeah.
And so it's always love. So we want.
That's why God
we
always
so
takes
happy
care
to
of
have
me with
you.
their little selfish selves.
You
They
see?
don't.
That's it right there.
You cannot receive anything with your hand
Hand
closed.
closed. Hey man, you got to have an open.
Not at all.
You have to have it. You have to come open.
Yeah, you share. God blesses you. And listen, when God moves me to do something for somebody, my expectation is not to receive my gifting from them.
Exactly.
No offense to the average human, but why the hell would I want my gift from you when my God runs
Hey,
the universe?
Come on.
I'm gonna get $4 from you
Come on.
when I could get the world from the King.
The abundance is
So
it's
I'm
all
not
in
looking
him.
when God moved me to do
all
something
in
for
him.
you. I'm not looking for nothing from you because I already know I'm taken care of.
Already.
It's official. We renaming this the
Wow.
Pentecostal
The
podcast.
Pentecostal podcast.
Every time, man. Every time. It's like either our friends are all churchy or just I don't know what it is, but everybody that we bring on this.
Hey, look, new intro is gonna be like it's chill and Will on the Pull Up Podcast.
Nationwide.
He's on your side.
I love it. Oh my God. Yo, that's it. We changed it, the whole thing. We just revamped. At the end of season 2, we just revamped the whole shit. Oh my God.
Look, we gonna be silly. We ain't gonna. Ain't no. They
I
ain't gonna know
like,
about her.
We gotta talk to Kim about Kim. Because I knew this was gonna happen. And it's funny because people was out. They was like, man, we need the silly. We need the silly. We was like, man, we trying to let y'all talk about yourselves more often, man. We trying not to be so silly, but I knew this was gonna happen because we just silly whenever we get together anyway. But Kim, talk to us about. So we have. Let's talk about this one, and then we'll work backwards. How about that?
Okay, because I have 4 books.
I was gonna say she got
Very
a
nice.
lot going on, y'all. And I read the biography, and I read your biography, and I was like, "Dang, there's so much about this that I did not know about you." And damn, this a lot. Why your biography 3 pages long? I said, "God damn."
I'm old.
Amen. No, I love it. I love it. I was so proud. I was like, man, this is dope. She has done so much, man. So let's start
Yes.
with how we can win.
Yes.
Let's start
How
here.
we can win race history and changing the money game that's rigged. So that book is an extension of my viral video. I had a video in 2020 that went like crazy viral. I think the original landing page on YouTube, David Jones, who shot it, I think he has like 2 million views on his videos, but there's like 60 videos on YouTube that has 1 million views on the video. LeBron tweeted me, Madonna reposted it.
Oh, wow.
Trevor Noah called me and I ended up doing the Daily Show after that. Like Oprah put it on her town hall because she said Ava DuVernay gave it to her, who got it from Don Cheadle. It was just like this crazy thing. I went to sleep the night before that video went viral. I had 1,700 followers. I woke up with 200,000 followers. And I was like, what happened?
Wow.
Between me going to bed last night.
Right.
And my DM was full of my homies like, LeBron just tweeted you, go to Twitter. Madonna just posted you. You're on Oprah's page. Like Viola Davis just posted you. You're on Lizzo's page. Like they were like, it's going crazy. Everybody's posting you. But it was in the middle of the pandemic. Everybody was sitting at home. Everybody was on the internet. Everybody had to be still. And so I did this like 7-minute rant about, and I compared the plight of Black people to a losing game of Monopoly, to a rigged game of Monopoly. And at the moment, it was the message that the world needed to hear, and it went crazy viral. And my agent, I was already a writer. I already had 1 book that was in the world and 1 book that was about to come into the world. And my agent called me, and she was like, all the publishers are calling me right now. They want a book version of this video.
Oh, wow.
But there was this amazing Black editor at Henry Holt, which is an imprint of Macmillan. And for all you music people, your imprint is basically your label and your publisher is your record company. So you can be on Macmillan and then you're on an imprint. So my imprint is Henry Holt. And so this amazing Black editor, Retha Powers, amazing Black woman who I had heard about in publishing and had always wanted to work with. And when my agent called me, he said, and Retha Powers called, and I was like, well, I don't want to talk to anybody else.
Damn.
I don't want to talk to anybody else. And so I was going through a lot when I wrote this book. My mother went into hospice. My brother passed. A lot of people know Young Dolph is my cousin. I lost Dolph in the midst of writing this book.
Whoa.
And so there was a lot going on. And so, you know, shouts out to Retha. She had to handhold me and babysit me through it. She even gave me a writing assistant, which they rarely do.
Right.
She even gave me a writing assistant to like help me through the process, because she was like, I know you're barely standing up right now, because my brother and my mother died like 3 months apart from each other. And then Dolph died 3 months after that. So I didn't even get a chance to recover from my brother. And then my mom died, and I was trying to pick myself up like that. And then I got a phone call in the middle of the night. Like they just killed Dolph. And I was just like, so yeah, so it was like a labor of love. I always say that out of all my 4 books, you know, your books are like your baby. You're supposed to love them all the same. But I love How We Can Win the most, because I know where it comes from. I know the history in it, and I know what I was going through when I wrote it. And I felt like that message touched people in such a way that that's why people started following me, because they wanted more. They were like, give me more information, because I feel like the things you said, the crazy thing about it is like, I talked about Tulsa and Rosewood in that video. And after my video went viral that day, Tulsa started trending. And so it was just like, okay. And it was like, you know, even actors that I've looked up to my entire life, like Mandy Patinkin, like, were sending me messages. I was getting voicemails from, you know, icons, people like Janelle Monáe, like all these people were telling me like, you said what everybody else was thinking. I mean, I got this long, beautiful voicemail that I cherish dearly. I hold on to, from Wayne Brady, about what it meant to him.
Wow.
And so it was just like, the world needs more context to what I was saying. And so that's how I wrote How We Can Win.
Wow. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
By far my coolest friend. This guy's pretty cool too. He's pretty damn cool.
His name is Chill.
Yeah. He's up there. He's up there. Trust me. No, man, that is fantastic. That is amazing.
Inspiring.
It's inspiring. Like, you have been an inspiration from the very minute that I've met you. Like, no, I legitimately mean that. Like, when I was introduced to you, it was like from that moment, because I think we met, and I don't mean to get into this, but I'm gonna move on to your other book. But I think we met. I don't remember if it was for the parade, or excuse me, the march.
Yes, we met at a protest. I forgot about that.
And that was the first time that I met Kim.
You came and sang at the protest.
I came and sang at the protest.
That's right.
Yeah, they asked me to come and sing to kick off the protest.
Yes.
And I sang Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Yep.
And
what a time 2020 was.
That was
boy.
crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah,
and I remember, and the reason why I bring that up is because I remember saying to myself, and I was like, man, I wanted to be more active in what was going on. I didn't get a chance to really be active in that whole thing, because my whole mindset was like, I have a daughter. And I was like, man, so do I go out there to protect my daughter? And, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I do this?
No, but you know, I always tell that, because people ask me, like, as an activist, they always ask me, like, Kim, I want to be more involved. I want to do this. I want to. And I'm just like, my thing has always been, and my mentors, because I've been mentored in Black liberation my whole life. Like, I always say I was groomed for this. Like, I went to after school. You know, most kids go to after school program at the Boys and Girls Club. I went to after school program at Operation Push.
Oh, shit.
So, you know what I'm saying? And so, growing up in Chicago. And so, I always say that art is a portal into difficult conversations. Art has always had its place in liberation. I mean, you can't talk about the March on Washington without talking about Mahalia Jackson singing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't talk about Black liberation without talking about the Black love example and liberation example of Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis. And so art, athletes, you know, from Muhammad Ali, like, it's always, artists and athletes have always had their place. And my thing is, like, you don't have to do what it is that everybody else does. You just have to give what it is that you have to the world in that moment. And not, like, I'm getting me misty thinking about it, like, you coming out there and singing that song to get us ready to go march, that was your piece.
Man.
Like we have this perception that everybody has to do like what the thing is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was called to go and lead the people and preach and march. You were called to make sure my spirit was right when I started walking.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
And so it's like you gotta do your part, and you did your part.
Yeah.
That was your part, and it was just as valuable as everything else. Because I'm telling you, leadership from a messed up mind is not good leadership. So the people who came out, and all the people over the time in 2020 who came out and sang to get us going, who gave us water, the people who Dolph's wife Mia, she would pull up when it would be cold outside and bring us coffee and stuff like that, and donuts and things like that wherever we were. I mean, but Mia's a rider. She would sit out there with us too. She'd be like, "I brought y'all coffee, but I'm outside.
I'm outside. with you."
I'm with it. You know, and so it's like everybody has to do that. I mean, shouts out to Little Baby, like the first big concert that my nonprofit held. Like Lil Baby just not Lil Baby, 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz just showed up and was like, "I'll do it. Like let's go. We're doing a revolutionary concert."
Wow.
Boom, 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
I'm here. I mean, I had a voting initiative that I did last year. Gucci was our headliner for Vote Lana to get young people out. It was a free concert for young people to get them registered to vote. Gucci headlined it. So I'm not expecting Gucci to be out on the front lines. That's not even safe for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But show up and headline the show.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't talk about this or not. I know people talk about a lot of other people, but Lil Baby be funding the movement. Like a lot of people I don't even know if he want me saying it. Sorry, baby. But like he be funding the movement. Like I can't name all my friends who talk about the initiatives, the programs, the things that they've done, that the check came from Lil Baby. That's his part.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's his part.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Everybody doesn't have to be in front of it. In front of it. Everybody doesn't have to always just be like.
Everybody ain't came to see nobody. Everybody ain't came to see Otis.
And it's so funny because the point that I was trying to make, you did it without me. And it's like, man, you just know how to inspire. You know how to make people. You know how to make people feel like they're a part, and all of that. And I felt that in that moment. I was like, okay, this is just the role that I'm playing today. Like, and just meeting you and seeing how you were just handling the people around you, and it was just love. It was just, I was like, man, okay, like she got something on her.
People will love you if you don't lie to them.
I was just about to say.
People will love you if you don't lie to them.
I was just about to say, because we was talking about that before we started recording, and your genuine and natural aura of truth is intoxicating.
Yeah.
You know, I live my life the same way, you know, especially after some experiences I had, but I identify with that because the moment I changed that part of who I am and just allowed myself to be truthful, the way that people come to me now is just so much more open and different. And it's all over you. It's just crazy.
I appreciate that. And hey, everybody ain't gonna like it. Everybody not a fan of Kim Jones. Like it's a lot of times I see stuff going on and I see the activism community, they all in space A, and everybody was invited but me and 4 of my homies that I know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. But sometimes we focus so much on the haters, we not even acknowledging the love. And think about how painful that is to the people who love you. Like if I get online and be like, I did that one time and like one of my followers checked me on that and I was like, never again. Like I was complaining about the people who didn't love me. And she was like, but we here. The ones who love you, like we here. We supporting you. We buying the books. We showing up to the lectures. You know, we're sending the money for the organizations. We're supporting the families that you're telling us to give money to. Like we're doing these things. And I was like, oh my God. Like I gave so much energy to the haters, which for the record is finite in comparison to the supporters.
Exactly.
It's so small. It's like I had to learn that even on social media, I may make a post and it might have 100,000 comments. I might be exaggerating, 10,000 comments. It might have 10,000 comments, and it'll be like, it'll be like 6 people that'll be hating, and it's like your nature is to get fixated on those 6 people. You got over 9,000 people telling you this was brilliant, this is great, this is amazing, and the one person who called you an ugly frog, they got you fixated on them.
Got you messed up
all day, and it's just like when you get to the place where you recognize. It's funny. I was just at dinner with someone very special, and my mentor was there as well. And my mentor said something. Shouts out to Wanda Shelley, my mentor. She said something tonight that was so prolific that I was like, "Oh, I'm still in there for the podcast tonight." What she said was, when you accept that you are not in control, then you realize not only are you not in control of your destiny, you're not in control of someone else's behavior, you're less affected by their behavior. So right now, if he decides he won't cut up and throw the camera against the wall, that's not my problem.
Right.
It's not my concern. How I respond
Right.
is my concern.
Absolutely.
Because if it's something I don't want to deal with, going back and forth says I want to deal with it. But if it's something I don't want to deal with, I'm going to pick my pocketbook up and say, I'm going to see y'all later, head upstairs.
I'm out. Plain and simple.
Right.
I'm out.
So when you recognize that and you honor that, like, so little gets to me now, because I'm just like, at the end of the day, my God has been an awesome God. He has ordered my steps, and I have learned through my journey that everything I thought I wanted wasn't what I needed. Every way I thought I was gonna get it wasn't it, and that all I have to do every day is show up and do the work, and the path will be laid out. So when they're telling you faith without work is dead, what they're also telling you is to walk in faith. Simultaneously do the work, but walk in faith, because you may be thinking you need the yellow brick road, and it may be the red road, which is where you're supposed to go. But guess what? If you're walking the yellow brick road and you're supposed to be over here on the red road, and you're being obedient and you're doing the work, the wind's gonna blow you. And you're going to be on the right path. And when you recognize that you should not be moved by everything around you all the time, I'm telling you, it's going to be a prolific change in your life, because the ability for somebody else to move you is the power. When Jesus stood up in the boat, he didn't curse the water, he cursed the wind.
Ooh. You better preach. Come on, I'm waiting.
It's the Pentecostal podcast.
I love it. That was dumb. That was it right there. That was it. Jesus. That was it. Golly.
Nah,
Kim.
That's so, man.
That's
That's
amazing.
what I'm talking about.
Kim, I'm not dying with you tonight.
I'm not down with you tonight. I'm not down with you tonight. It's another little miracle baby story. That's why I said God be working and twerking. Listen. I'm not down with you tonight was not even the type of thing that I wanted to write. My dear friend Gettin Siegel, who I co-authored that book with, she and I were in a book club together for adult women who like to read YA novels, called the Not So YA Book Club, that was founded by me and my friend Vanya. And so it was a lot of women in that book club who were aspiring writers. And so we started doing writing retreats. We only had one published author in the book club when we started. Now we have about 12. And so we would go on these writing retreats and do critique and spend the weekend up in the Georgia mountains and write together. And I wanted to be a picture book writer. I wanted to write like picture books, like clown books. I was working on a little clown book at the time. Young adult books was not even in my wheelhouse. And so Geely, she and I were friendly, and we realized we had a lot in common and stuff. We both had professional athlete baby daddies, and that's an experience in all of itself, And so she came into the shop. I was managing a children's bookstore at the time. And she came into the shop, and she's a lawyer by trade. And so she had her bullet points. She was about to lawyer me into writing this book with her. And I said, when she came in and she got past the first button, I said, stop right there. And she said, like, all the color went out of her face. My sister already pale. Whatever color was left, it went out of her face. And so she thought that I was going to be like, white lady, get out of here. I ain't writing this book with you. But I told her, you had me and let's write together. And so she had read this article that happened in around the death of Freddie Gray, about a group of kids during the civil unrest in Baltimore that got trapped behind a police barricade because they shut off public transportation. And these kids from high school had got out of school and had no way to get home. And so these kids were caught out in the civil unrest, not because they were participating, just because they could not get home and everything was barricaded and their parents couldn't get to them. So they were just kind of like out there. Yikes. And so as moms, me and her, we were just like, this is crazy. We had kids who were like slightly younger than those. Our kids are teenagers now, but they like middle school at the time. And I'm like, I can't imagine my child being caught in the middle of civil unrest and not being able to get to me and me not being able to get to him. And so she had started brainstorming this idea, but she felt like as a white woman, that was not her story to tell. That was not her lived experience to tell. And so she wanted me to co-write it with her. And so we came up with this idea to leapfrog it. Like, what if we put a little black girl and a little white girl out there together? And we'll write alternating chapters, and I'll write the black girl's chapters, and you write the white girl's chapters. And they're living the same experience, but we see how they're experiencing it differently.
That's incredible.
Lit.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was how I'm Not Dying With You Tonight was born. And there was all this buzz about the book, and there was a lot of excitement about the book, and people were looking forward to it. And this is, keep in mind, we sold this book in 2017, so this is way before 2020 happens. We sell this book in 2017. It comes out in 2019. It does okay, but it doesn't do what the publisher. I mean, our publisher literally said to us one time it wasn't doing as well as they thought it was. You know what I mean? Like, it was doing okay. We were in the black. We had paid our advance back, but it wasn't. They thought it was going to be this big book, and it wasn't. And then I went viral in the middle of the civil unrest, and I had written this book about civil unrest.
Wow.
And I went viral, and the next week the book made the New York Times bestseller list.
Wow.
And then it stayed on the New York Times bestseller list for 3 weeks straight. So we hadn't charted before that. And a year after the book had been out for a year later, this fluke of me going viral puts the book on the New York Times bestseller list. Warner Brothers buys the movie rights to it. And like all this stuff happens. And it's just like, but it all started because Gettin was like, we need to tell this story. And, you know, and that's like my sister now. We've taken this journey together.
That's amazing. Shout out to Gettin.
Yeah.
And
Gettin just wrote the new Captain Marvel book, and it's dropping next week.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
We're going to talk more Captain Marvel. We're going to talk more books.
We gotta talk acting.
Everything.
Yeah, all of that.
We got so much more to talk about, but we got to take a quick break to pay some bills. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimberly Latrice Jones. This is the Pull Up Podcast, and we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
What up, everybody? Are you getting married, or do you know somebody that's getting married? Do you run a business with a whole bunch of people, and you want to bring them together at the end of the year for an end of the year party or something like that? You know what I'm saying? And if you are in any one of those people, in any one of those positions, and you're looking for an ultimate band experience, then you need to look no further than Will and the Exclamation. That's right, Will and the Exclamation. We're here to make your special day absolutely unforgettable. If you guys are looking to book Will and the Exclamation, here's 2 ways that you can find us. Go to www.samhillbands.com. Click on the hamburger in the top right. Click on Browse Bands and look for Will and the Exclamation. The other thing that you can do is you can call 1-866-SAM-HILL. That's 1-866-SAMHILL to get in touch with us and book us for your very, very special event. With an electrifying playlist that caters to all tastes, we'll have everyone dancing the whole night away. The set list, the playlist, it's non-stop. If you want to dance all night, we offer high octane live music, dynamic vocalists, stellar musicians, customizable set lists. You can let us know what you want to play and what you don't want us to play. But most importantly, it's non-stop entertainment all night long. Don't settle for the ordinary. Choose the extraordinary. Secure Will and the Exclamation for your event today, and let us bring the party to you.
Are you ready to take your music to the next level? Introducing our top tier music production services.
That's right, CHILLW Productions. Whether you're an aspiring artist, whether you are a band looking for the perfect sound, or whether you're a seasoned pro seeking out that little bit of extra edge, let our expert team of CHILLW get your musical dreams and make them a reality.
Yes, we can do it. We offer professional mixing and mastering via yours truly right here, my guy.
Come on.
Will P.
Hey.
Will with the Exclamation. Hey. We offer vocal tuning and recording, original music production, instrument arrangement, radio ready tracks, live performance, playback, as well as performance development.
Whoo, we do the whole kit and caboodle.
That's a lot.
The rooter to the tutor.
Yes, sir.
Everything. Stop shopping. There's only one shop to shop at, one stop to shop at, and we're a one-stop shop. You hear me? You hear me? Unlock your potential, stand out amongst the music industry, and captivate your audience with world-class sound quality. Don't wait any longer. Contact us at chillwillproductiongroup@gmail.com or write on our Instagram at the Pull Up with Chill Will. Yeah, man. Get your sonics right with Chill Will Productions. That's the way to do it.
That's it.
Yo, it's your boy Will. And make sure you check out my latest single, 9 to 5, on all digital streaming platforms. That's right, it's 9 to 5 by your boy Will, produced by Chill Will Productions, written by Davis Chris and your boy, yours truly as well. We got some great dope musicians on the record with us. It's a dope bop, it's a great feel, it's a vibey song, so make sure you listen to it today. Stream 9 to 5 right now by Will.
We're back.
Right. Every now and again, I gotta give him the Caribbean accent.
She done turned it into the Pentecostal podcast.
Right.
I'm a
Books.
preacher kid. I'm a PK.
I mean,
Right.
just going crazy. But
And
we got a actress.
I do a little Blackton.
Yeah.
Do a little Blackton.
Yeah.
Let's do a little black thing. You've talked about some very amazing things, and you have even more amazing things to discuss, and we want to discuss them with you. So I think I don't know if we should save this for last. Let's go there first.
Okay.
Talk to us about what it was like to work with Tyler Perry.
TP. Now I said that like me and that man friends. That man couldn't pick me out of a police lineup. But listen,
You did what for me?
never met him.
Employee 500 and 600, 561.
Right, employee 8 million. I know. Like I was talking to Gayle King one day, and she was like, "Does Tyler even know that you're one of his kids?" I'm like, "I don't think so." She's like, "I'm gonna tell him."
Not that I was talking with Gayle King.
Listen, Gayle King is the best gift giver in Hollywood. She gave me this at the end of that book, How We Can Win, I talk about how people have all these ambitions to be famous and da-da-da-da. And that my only ambition is to be a sage old black lady sitting on the porch in my muumuuu drinking sweet tea.
I can see you like I like the Oracle from the Matrix.
Exactly.
Right.
Like my dream life. Come, children. Shall impart the wisdom.
Right.
Sit around. I'm at the sun tea. Get your son.
Before we move on with the rest of your life, we have to run you into Kim, and Kim has to speak a blessing.
Has to bless you.
Exactly, I have to bless you. But I end the book by saying like that's my real ambition. If I haven't done what I needed to do to be the sage old black lady on the porch, then I haven't done what I need to do. And so in response to that, when I did CBS this morning when I was doing my press run for this book, I was the last guest of the day, and Gayle was like, "Don't leave. I'm coming to your dressing room. I have something for you." And she gave me this, of course, in a Saks box. She gave me this beautiful silk muumuu and then this gorgeous silk robe. And so every time I put that muumuu on now and I'm around the house, I get on everybody in the house nerves. I'll be like, "This is my Gayle King muumuu." You know, Gayle King gave me this.
Right. Oprah's best friend gave me this.
I know. And when it's funny. I was talking
Crazy.
to Gayle on the phone one day during the pandemic. This was after I was on CBS this morning the first time. So the second time I went on there for the book, I was able to actually go in studio. But the first time I was on CBS this morning, I had to do it remotely because we were in the middle of the pandemic. And so after that, Gayle called me and we were talking on the phone. And she was quarantining at Oprah's house. Mm-hmm. And so I'm talking to Gayle, and in the background, who do I hear other than Oprah? And so I started telling Oprah this story because I graduated in high school. I went to 3 high schools. My final high school was the Chicago Academy for the Arts, and I studied musical theater. And I went there on an Oprah Winfrey scholarship. Mm-hmm. And so I remember telling Oprah, like, yeah, like you paid for half of my like private arts high school education. And she was like, "Gayle, I forgot I even did that." And it's like, how dope are you in the world that you've done so much for so many people that you gave me tens of thousands of dollars
and
like
remember.
you don't even know who.
Forgot.
don't even know who I am, like, don't know anything. And I sent Gail a clip of, like, because she had all of us, her scholarship kids, come on her show. I was like 17. We're all on the Oprah show. So I grew up in Chicago. And I sent her and Gail the clip of, like, this is me on the Oprah show as one of your scholarship kids.
Full circle.
And fast forward
That's
to, like,
such an amazing
this is who I am. And so it's just like, yeah, it was such a blessing and, like, full circle. And I did meet her when I was in high school multiple times. But it was like, you know, to make that connection of, like, no, like, this child is the result of your seed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And now I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Man, we just talking now because this is so.
Well, talking about that road.
We were talking about her
about
working with Tyler. Yeah.
Oh, Tyler.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
started
I was
off
saying,
there.
Gail said, "Do Tyler know that's one of your kids?" So how I ended up working with Tyler was I was working as a development assistant on Being Bobby Brown, the Bobby and Whitney reality show, and the woman, this iconic production manager, Katie Trobes, she was a coordinator then, a production coordinator then. She was on Being Bobby Brown, and she left Being Bobby Brown, and we know when we wrapped. Because, you know, we all freelance. And she went over and did Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She did the first movie. So because I worked for the production company, I was still working. I was still working in post and stuff. And she was wrapped. So then when the show ended, I left there. And first I went to the Atlanta Ballet. I was looking for jobs. And I ended up working as the company manager for the Atlanta Ballet. And I worked there. They just needed someone to finish their season. And I finished the season over there at the Atlanta Ballet and became the Atlanta Ballet's first Black company manager in doing that. And then, and I knew they weren't going to renew me. They needed someone who really knew ballet and stuff to come back. And they just needed like a strong executive type to finish the season. But then they needed somebody who really knew what they were doing to come in. So I knew my contract wasn't going to get renewed. And I called Katie and I was like, hey, I'm out of a job. And she was like, well, all I got over here is an office PA job, which is way below your pay grade. But if you just need, I'm like, Katie, right now my pay grade is nothing. So I was like, I just need a job, any job. And so she was like, yeah, well, I'm over here working for this young man. We're about to shoot his, because in the film industry, we don't call a movie when we're working. Everything's a show. It's like, what show are you on? Even if it's a movie, a TV show, whatever, people are like, what show are you on? And so she was like, yeah, I'm on this show over here. I just finished one show with them. And they're rolling right into a second. If you want to come over here and office PA, and a PA is like a gopher. That's as low as you get on the totem pole on a movie. She was like, if you want to come over here and PA for me, you can do that. And I did. And she never told me who it was or what it was. And you know, no offense, but as a white middle-aged lady, she hadn't watched the plays and stuff. So she knew he was making movies and she knew that piece of him, but she wasn't as invested as like, oh, it's a big deal to come over here and work for TP. And I pulled up and it was Tyler Perry. And so at the time, he didn't even have a studio. We're talking 2005. Oh, wow. So at the time, he didn't even have a studio at all. He had a distribution center over on 17th Street, right there on North Side and 17th, where now where you see, where all those gates are and the waterworks and stuff, that was his office was in there. And he was pressing DVDs still. So he was, Fulton? He was pressing, no, this was in Midtown. This was on 17th Street.
Oh, okay.
He had a distribution center. This is before he had any studio. Okay. This wasn't even a studio. This was just a warehouse.
We were still out on the road.
Yeah, they were still on the road.
Yeah.
So we were still pressing. It was DVDs were being pressed out of there from the plays. Like the recordings from the plays were being sent there and DVDs were being pressed and sent out. And so we worked out of that office for a little while, but that definitely wasn't going to house a full production. So then he went and rented the locations. They went and rented the old Sidetrack Museum on North Avenue, and we turned that into a soundstage. And that's where a lot of Medea's Family Reunion was shot, like that scene, the wedding scene with the angels and all that stuff. And so we were over there, and I was and they bumped me from an office PA to a production secretary, which is a notch up. And so I would be responsible for letting him in the morning. And so when I would be letting him in the morning, he would be meeting with people and he was negotiating buying the first studio, not even Fulton. That was Krog Street. Oh, wow. He was like negotiating. And so I would get there in the morning, set up coffee and donuts and stuff for the bankers and all, whoever he was meeting with about trying to get Krog Street. And then we finished Medea's Family Reunion. I didn't realize I got pregnant at the rap party. That free liquor at the goddamn.
Yeah, come on, free liquor at the rap party. I love a good rap party.
Got myself knocked up. So
Lord have mercy.
With my son, who's 17 now, he's a joy. Senior, getting ready to go off to college. So I went over to do. House of Pain. And this is when he was going to do House of Pain. And he was shooting it all himself. He was shooting 100 episodes and was going to do it. So I started in prep on House of Pain, but my pregnancy was a high-risk pregnancy. And so I ended up having to go on bed rest. So I had to leave. So I didn't come back until 2 years later. And I did I Can Do Bad All By Myself with Taraji. And and from there, then I went off and started doing my own, independent films and stuff like that. But I tell you this, I didn't have a whole lot of like really personal interactions with him. But what I will say about this, of just being around him and being in the office and experiencing his culture, is that people may or may not want to give him the credit, but Tyler is really the reason why people love working with Atlanta crews, because he made us shoot fast and efficient. And so nobody shoots more fast and more efficient than Atlanta crews, but we all learned that at Tyler Boot Camp.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
what I heard.
We all learned that at Tyler Boot Camp, because something that takes somebody else, 30 days to shoot, we were shooting 13.
Yeah, he's a workhorse.
I
He goes hard.
Shout out to Ronnie Garrett. Which is probably how you ended up on. Well, maybe not how.
No, I didn't meet Ronnie until after the fact.
Okay.
So
So I want to hear about your Tyler
shout
story.
Shout out to earlier. I was gonna come back to it, and when he said we was on the road, he talking about I was on the road with Tyler. So TLee, talk to him about that.
I did the Meet the Browns play. So
Yeah.
a friend of mine who ended up being the main keyboard player for it called me to play aux colors, and so yeah, I did that for like I think we were out for like 2 years. And I had some personal interaction with Tyler. He's an amazing guy, man. He's really, really cool. This was before the movies. I remember when he announced the first movie when we were recording the DVD for Meet the Browns in Cleveland, because that's where we recorded the DVDs for that. So, man, he's an incredible person. And like she said, like it's like it was a lesson. It was definitely a lesson.
You learn.
Yeah. I mean, it was new. It was new to him, and to watch him go from being, I think what he had gotten his notoriety from making $50 million from his plays or something like that, and then to see where he went and to see where he is now from then is just like it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I always tell people, I'm like, Tyler's my idol, and the reason why I say that is because I love the way he did things. Like, I don't care how you feel about his content or whatever. As a businessman, can't name nobody colder.
Right.
You just cannot.
Right.
And so it's just like watching how he made his own lane. And here's the thing that I love about him. Watching how he made his own lane and did it in a way where he understood his audience. Because a lot of times when you're a creative, people will always try to get you to expand your audience. Like, oh, you're not catching this demo. You're not catching that demo or whatever. Yeah. Tyler was like, look, I understand my audience. I understand my lane. I'm going to focus there and I'm going to win.
And they love him for that. They love him for that.
Who won bigger than him?
I mean,
for about 7 to 10 years, every time I go to my godmother's house on a holiday, what is she playing?
Man, my daddy was
Tyler Perry.
My daddy still to this day, he loves Tyler Perry. He think
Does he?
Man, let me tell you, my daddy think Tyler Perry is Jesus and Tyler Perry. That nigga love Tyler Perry, dog. He love
You
him.
can't be mad at TP because he stays in his own lane. He knows what he's doing. He wins at it. He's unapologetic about who he is. He's unapologetic about what he does. And if you like what he does, cool. And if you don't, he don't care either. Because first of all, I'm going to tell you like this. TP is not thinking about you because that man works from the time his eyes open until the time his eyes close. So he don't even have time to process all of the shenanigans or what people are saying.
No.
You know, people was hating on him and da-da-da-da. And guess what? And let this be a lesson to you, church.
Come on, church.
Let this be a lesson to you, church.
Come on, we need to
Many of the people who had derogatory things to say about him in the beginning have had to humble themselves in front of him. And he didn't talk bad back about them. He didn't go out of his way to be derogatory towards them or any of that. And guess what? He's such a stand-up person that some of those same people who threw smut on his name, he's the one who honored them in ways that they have never been honored before. Some of those people who names on those sound stages over there had negative things to say to them, but he was able to separate his emotional
Oh my God.
attachment to how they feel about him and still honor who they were to the culture. And then they had no choice but to say,
Wow.
all right, you get it. So at the end of the day, like, that's why I don't worry about like what people got to say about me or how they feel about me or what the narrative is about me or anything like that, because I know I'm a solid individual. And if you don't like me, that's okay. I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Everybody don't like sweet tea. Everybody don't like fruit punch. Everybody don't like Kool-Aid, but it's somebody who like it.
There's something to be said about individuality.
Yeah.
The authenticity of individuality. Just be yourself. And it takes us a while. It takes a lot of us a while to learn that, because you have to be comfortable in that and know, like you said, that everybody's not gonna be for you. Everybody's not gonna like you. They're not gonna agree with you. This is the whole point of life. To be an individual. What do you bring to this world? If you bring the same thing that everybody else is bringing, what?
I just want to say thank you, God. Thank you, God, for confirmation. Because that just everything that you said, for some reason, it resonates was in my spirit.
Yeah.
Good God Almighty, it was in me. It was like everything that you were just saying. It was just like it was rumbling, and there was a man. What they say, a fire. Shut up!
There you go. You bringing it back.
In my bones.
Fire my bones.
But I mean, it's just everything that you said. I ain't gonna go deeper than that, but just everything that you said is just confirmation for so many things that I feel like I've experienced. And I'm not saying that you know what? I am claiming that. I feel like I'm on Tyler Perry trajectory.
Yeah.
We coming.
Yes.
You saying we coming.
You gotta see it.
I'm gonna receive that because
vision is sight.
And I totally get that perspective of everybody doubting on you, everybody trying to stop you from doing what you're doing, and you saying, "Shit, that's cool, nigga. I really can't focus on that because what I'm still I'm going this way anyway."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what y'all saying. Yeah, that's cool. I'm still going this way.
Yeah.
And then when I turn around and I look back and I say, I'm not gonna be mad. We're not gonna be mad.
What I'm be mad for?
You know what I'm saying? I got a situation specifically like that, and TLee know I got a situation specifically like that. But when it comes, I'm not gonna dishonor you.
Nope.
I'm just gonna keep moving.
Yep.
Yeah, because what I'm gonna dishonor you
That's
for?
it.
I won.
I won by being here anyway.
I don't have to belittle you. I won. You see me out. You see me out here. Cadillac, Fruity Pebbles in my cereal bowl.
Fruity Pebbles in my cereal and in my ear, nigga.
Oh.
I'm mad fun. I got all these snacks, cars, and pocketbooks, and send my son to a fancy school. Like, well, be mad what you got to say about me for. God out here guarding for me.
God out here got it for me. Yo, I love that.
That's real.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was about to move on and I said, wait a minute. Let's come back to that for a second.
That's exactly what he's supposed to do.
Got it for me. That's going to go viral. That's going to go viral. I love it.
That's a shirt.
Kim, there's another very, I don't know about y'all, but it's a part of my childhood. It's a part of my growing up. There was a movie that was very pivotal to a young man's life.
Oh Lord, what movie is this?
That you said now, and if I say this right, if I say this wrong, let me know. But you read it because at one point you were reading the scripts and greenlighting them, right? She's a gatekeeper. She was like, I'm reading y'all script, I don't like it. Bye.
Yeah.
Or I'm reading y'all script and I like it. And one of those scripts that you greenlit was a movie called Paid in Full.
Yes. Let me be clear. I didn't greenlight it.
Okay.
Executive greenlit it, but I gave it a plus.
Okay.
There used to, I don't even know if this job exists in Hollywood anymore. Maybe it does. If y'all out there and y'all young and y'all living in them Hollywood streets, y'all let me know if this job still exists. It used to be a job back in the day, because this is when I lived in California.
Right.
I used to be like a little traveling merchant child. I used to live all over the place. And when I was living in LA, there was a job that a lot of aspiring writers used to have, and it was called a reader. And what you could do as a reader is you would pick up scripts. See, this is pre everything, this internets.
Mm-hmm.
This before the internet. Well, we had the internet. We had AOL dial-up. You wasn't doing a lot with it.
Right.
You get on and somebody pick up the phone, throw your whole thing off. So there was a job back in the day called a reader, and your job was to do what was called script coverage or script analysis.
Right.
So you would read the script, and based on the studio and stuff that you were reading that script for, you would kind of know what their mandates were, like what they were looking for, what their style was, all that stuff. And you would do the script analysis. And so in the script analysis, you would put like a brief synopsis of what the script was about. What were the good and bad about the script? What things worked? Why it would or wouldn't work for this network? If you had a really close relationship with the executive you were reading for, you would say why this is a good thing for that executive or not a good thing. And then at the bottom of that script analysis, you would just check the boxes. They would have like a list of boxes that you would type up and check. I'm saying type, I'm talking word processing.
Right.
And you would type up and check that would say whether it was a pass, which is basically like, throw this in what we call the slush pile, which means nobody past me is ever going to see this script ever again. Right. It go in the slush pile. In a pass, you could put a rewrite, which is like, it could be great, but here are some things I think they need to change before it gets to you or before it goes up another ladder. Or you could give it like a thumbs up and be like, this is amazing. This is perfect for the studio. This is perfect for you. It should go to the next stage and your executive will read it. And it's funny because Paid in Full wasn't, so if you could hustle like I would do, you could be doing this for like 5, 6, 7, 8 different production companies and studios, and you would get paid $50 a script. So we talking like, this is 1990, tell y'all how old I am now. This is 1998. I'm like 22 years old. This is like 1998. And so how I would survive is I had like 8 studios that I was a reader for. So I would just go around, pick up all my scripts and sit all day and read my scripts and do my scripts analysis. And at $50 a pop, back then you could make rent, you could pay some bills, you could do what you needed to do. But this particular script, which is why Paid in Full is funny to me, is this was not even a script I was paid to do script analysis on.
Oh, snap.
This was a script, I was in an AOL chat room. Okay, taking it back.
Come on now.
I was in an AOL chat room of filmmakers in LA, and there was this young executive, Jesse Berdinka. He was the VP of development at the time. And development in film is like an A&R in music, right?
Okay.
Development people in film, A&Rs at the record label, and your editor at a publishing house, they all kind of do the same job, right? They discover people, they develop things, they do that kind of thing, right? And so he was be
writing down some notes.
Yes. So he was the VP of development at Dimension, and I'll tell you how long ago this was. This is when Dimension was still owned by Miramax. This is before Disney acquired Dimension. And so he would be at the Miramax office. So Miramax's primary office was in New York. And then they had an office on Sunset Boulevard. And that was one of the few studios that I didn't have a contract with, that I didn't do stuff. But I met Jesse in an AOL chat group just on some like camaraderie. Well, we was out here risking our lives back in the 90s with the internet, because there were no photos and nothing. You meet people in the chat room and then meet up with them somewhere. We could have gotten murderized.
It was a wild, wild west.
Right. We was out here living real feral back then.
Not feral.
Living real feral. So I met Jesse in an AOL chat group for filmmakers. And shouts out to Jesse. Me and him are still friends to this day. Like, it was full of people who were at my level, who were script readers and stuff like that. And here he is, this big executive, but he was smart because he was like 28. He was still young. He was understanding that if I want to understand the pulse of like what's happening, I need to be here with these like younger upstarts trying to make it and see. And he lives in New York. So he's like, I need to hear what's going on, word on the streets in LA. And this was an LA filmmakers AOL chat group. And so me and him, and if y'all know anything about AOL to the youngsters, y'all don't know about the Zers and young millennials, y'all won't know about this. You could invite someone to go into a private chat after you were in the group
The original
chat.
DM.
There's the original DM. You could invite somebody to go into a private chat and y'all could talk. And me and him went in a private chat and we realized we had so much in common. He was this white boy who loved hip hop. And we talked about that. And he was wrapping up filming. he was the executive that had put together, and he was wrapping up filming backstage the tour documentary with Jay-Z and Dame and all of them.
Wow.
So he was overseeing that. So he had this relationship with Dame. So Dame had gave him the script for Paid in Full.
Oh, wow.
And so I was telling him that I was a reader and that I was an aspiring filmmaker. And he just became like a big brother and a friend to me and would educate me about stuff from the studio level. And he came to me one day. He was in town from New York, and we went to dinner, and he put Paid in Full in front of me, and he said, "Now I need you to be honest with me, sis. I need you to tell me if this has the potential to be a classic."
Wow.
So I basically did a free coverage on Paid in Full for my friend Jesse, and I was like, "Jess, you gotta make this. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a hood classic. This is gonna be amazing. Like, you don't want to miss this opportunity." And he made it.
Kim, you have done so many things for the world.
For the world.
You like that? You like? Do you understand how important that moment is?
Man.
Jesus Christ, we might not have had Paid in Full. What the fuck?
I don't know.
It's all because of her.
Jesse was in deep with Rockefeller. He was enjoying his Rockefeller moment. He had a Rockefeller leather jacket and everything.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesse.
Jesse Berdinka, my brother.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. So many amazing stories, man. So much great energy.
Oh my God.
Man, thank you for coming out
Thank
here with us
you.
today.
Kim.
Jeez.
One more time for Kim.
Woo! On the Pentecostal podcast. Yeah.
Can we just have you as a guest host like every episode?
Swing by.
Man, for real, for real.
I want you to be my mentor.
Listen,
I know you kind of already are. Yeah, basically. I know. Really, you are. You're like my big sister anyway. I love you to death. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
One more time, How We Can Win is out right now. You guys get that. Can we say something real quick about the book that got turned into? Is that? Can we say anything about that?
About I'm Not Down With You Tonight?
Yeah.
I'm Not Down With You Tonight is in development over at Warner Brothers Studios. The film rights were optioned by some amazing people, Autumn Bailey and Michael Napoli. I always say Michael's last name. Michael, if I said your last name wrong for the 10,000th time, charge it to my
It's
head.
Napoli.
Yeah, charge it to my head and not my heart. Because the reason I always like to shout out Autumn and Michael, because Autumn and Michael, especially Autumn was excited about I'm Not Down With You Tonight and wanted to make it into a movie even before I went viral, even before it had all this attention and made the Times and stuff like that. And then there was just some things that needed to be done, some gaps that needed to be bridged for me and Autumn to make that happen. And Michael stepped in and do it. And Michael is a legend. Michael made fucking Jumanji, for Christ's sake.
Whoa.
So Michael stepped in and was like, the new Jumanjis. He made the ones with
Crazy.
Yeah, he
Fuck
made
with
the
those
ones
two.
with like The Rock
With
and
The
stuff
Rock,
like
yeah.
that.
Those are dope too.
Yeah, so Michael stepped in and kind of like came in kind of on some Big Brother, like, okay, little tink tinks, they not letting y'all do it, but if I step in and do these things, we could get this project through and made. And then through the, again, my creatives always with me, then I ended up getting an overall TV deal with Warner Brothers. And so through my deal with Warner Brothers and having a giant like Michael on board and Autumn, we were able, where it is in development right now at Warner Brothers. So we'll see how it goes. Book people, we don't get excited until production days start.
Nobody does.
Because books get optioned all the time and they get developed forever and ever, and then they go into turnaround and they never become anything. So, I'm excited, but I'm also like, the day that Pictures Up is when I'll be excited. The day that it's like, tomorrow we start filming, then I'm going to be like, we make it, I'm Not Down With You Tonight.
Everybody out there, we putting energy towards Pictures Up. Amen?
Absolutely.
Come on, church. It's your boy Will.
It's your boy Chill. And this
Wait,
is the
we
pull
did-
up.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
say,
did it backwards.
We usually do it backwards. We did it the other. We did it the wrong way. Come on.
It's your boy Chill.
It's your boy Will.
And this is the Pull Up
With
Podcast.
Chill Will, and we had Kimberly Latrice Jones on the podcast with us. Don't miss it. Pull up. Let's get it.
Oh, man.